Matt Johnson here, another episode of The Bite. You know, this month we chase summer to fall transitional walleyes. It's really a tale of two stories. Day one, extreme cold front. Day two, warm trend. One common denominator, a lot of wind. We're joined by Central Minnesota fishing guide Matt Klug and another fishing guide, Jeremy Colsen, to chase down some walleyes. So if you want to get ready for the fall bite, this is one you're not going to want to miss. Coming at you right now, The Bite.
There's one, fish on, fish on. I mean, if you look at that, these are all walleyes underneath that bait. Just absolutely loaded.
That
Beautiful.
is what we came here for. Oh, that's two fish over 28 in the 2 days we've been out here. I mean, that's phenomenal, especially for where we're at. This is a pretty special bite. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of The Bite. I'm your host, Matt Klug. I'll be joined by my good friend, Jeremy Colsen. We're here in central Minnesota. It's mid-September, the water temps are dropping and the fish are biting. So let's get out on the water and see if we can catch a few. Fish. You want to grab the net, Jeremy?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, big old brown bass. There's plenty of them in here. Ready? There we go. Yeah. It's a nice surprise. I'll take it. First fish of the day. Probably a 20-inch smallmouth. Not what we're after, but I'll definitely take it. There she goes. All right, let's get another bite.
Get a walleye this time, eh, Klug?
Yeah, that's what we're after. So hopefully the next one's a walleye and not a pike. We're out here in central Minnesota. Right now I'm actually rigging a creek chub. Jeremy's got a jig and a minnow on. You know, we're fishing some flats, probably 9 to 13 feet of water. You know, as this water cools down, these fish have started to move shallower. You know, you hear a lot of people talk about catching fish deep throughout the fall, but I catch fish shallow pretty much all year, whether it's July, August, or September. Obviously, it depends on the lake, but this lake particularly, you know, you can usually catch them 8 to 12 feet of water right up until ice up, to be honest with you. So there's some really nice walleyes. As you can see, we caught a nice smallmouth. That was a good surprise. We'll probably catch another one of those today, but obviously the target is walleyes. Hopefully we can put a few of those in the boat. Oh man, we got fish here. Ooh, that was a bite. Thunk. See if he's still there. I don't know if he just whacked it and let go or what, but let him eat it for a bit. Did it? Yeah. I got something. Ooh, ooh. I'm not sure what I got here. Ah, we got ourselves a piker. The elusive Norling pikes. Trying to get the hook out here. Of course he decided to eat it. I can see the hook. It's not that deep. I just can't get to it because I don't want to slice my hand off. There we go. So there again, not the targeted species, but a little beat up tail. And off he goes. Slime. Hey, that's a mark. I don't know who this Mark guy is. Everybody's always talking about him. He must be a really nice guy. Yeah, Mark's on every lake all the time. It's a Tuesday. Fish always bite on Tuesdays.
Everywhere you are.
Hey, it's Mark again. Never met the guy. Must be nice though. Everybody talks about him. Says great things. I'm not sure if I got a fish, but there's a pile of them down here. I'm gonna actually spot lock here, Jeremy. I might bust out the Tikka Mino. Yeah, there's one.
Sure?
Yeah.
Good.
Just a baby. There we go. Species number 3 of non-target species. We'll get them. It's early. I'm thinking 10 to 2. That's when the fish are going to bite. And it is a Tuesday, which I don't know if you know this, but Tuesdays are when the fish bite. So here we are on a Tuesday. We're going to catch fish.
We're out fishing some fall walleyes. Right now I'm currently using a Tikka Mino. Matt's using a rig with creek chub, and we're trying to get on them here. We're marking fish, but it's been a little slow today, but that's okay. Currently for me, I'm guiding with Lake Osakis Guide Service with Scott Maroon and myself. Had a pretty good year. Looking forward to fall fishing, and actually looking forward to winter fishing, ice fishing.
I mean, I'm not saying more. There's one. Fish on. Thinking it's a walleye. What we're after. Here he comes. Here he is. Nice walleye. There we go. Come on, baby. Get up here. There we go. That's what we're after. Look at that. He just threw the jig. Got that one on a 5/16 Tikka. One of my absolute favorite ways to catch fish. It's just hard to beat throwing a jig wrap or a Tikka or a bait like that and catching fish on them. But yeah, it's probably a 20-incher. There's a lot of these in this system. All right, I might keep a few later if we get some smaller ones, but that one will throw back and let grow up. So I was dragging a jig in, or excuse me, Jeremy was dragging around a jig and a minnow, and I was using a creek chub, and I'm marking a lot of fish in this area, so I figured maybe I'd go a little more aggressive, and I threw actually a little smaller than I usually do. This is a 5/16 Tikka Mino, black and gold. Sometimes that more aggressive is actually better. You know, it just gets those fish to react. You know, it's hard to beat a jig and a minnow or a creek chub, but sometimes they just want a bait to fall in front of their face, and as you rip it away, they just can't resist but hit it. So and we'll see. Hopefully that works the rest of the day. It's definitely more fun than dragging around meat. He's still there, is he? Yep. There you go. Bam, got him. Nice. Makes sense.
Well, we're out here rigging for, rigging for walleyes using creek chubs.
Just caught myself a largemouth bass here. Seems like today is the day that we're catching everything but what we're targeting. Got a couple fish in, but still got a tug, so that's a good feeling. And you can see these fish are pretty fat out here, so they're fun to catch. We're marking a lot of fish, we just can't get them to go. I mean, we're switching back from Tikka Minos to jigging wraps to rigging with creek chubs to fatheads to using jigs with fatheads, jigs with creek chubs. They're just not going today, but we're optimistic. The sun came out, so we're hoping that that'll spark them up a little bit, and we're gonna keep plugging away though. We're gonna keep trying, give her everything we have.
We moving. Gonna go find some fish. Got one walleye. Just not seeing the numbers of fish that I'd like to see. Well, in one spot we're seeing plenty of fish. I just can't get them to go, so there's got to be some dumb fish somewhere. So that is the goal, to find the dumb ones or the hungry ones, and hopefully find both. One just ate it on the reel end. Probably a frickin' bass.
Probably small.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Holy crap. Could be a nice walleye. Might be. It feels kind of pikeish. Oh, big walleye. That's a nice fish. Got him wrapped up a little bit. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. There we go. That's a nice fish.
That's a nice fish.
That's a giant. Yeah, that is a way bigger fish than I thought it was. Look at that. The hook was through the lip. That
is a beautiful fish.
Is what we came here for. It might have taken most of the day. Woo! But that is a beautiful fish. I'm actually gonna get a measurement on that one just to see what we got. Just about 28. Nice. 27 and 7/8, 27 3/4. That's a beautiful fish. Look at how thick that thing is.
Dude.
Healthy. I was actually just reeling my creek chub in and it just smashed it boat side. I mean, I'm in 8 feet of water and I think it just came cruising out of the weeds and whacked it. But yeah, not really doing anything different than earlier, but the sun came out and the fish gods blessed us with this pig. So let's get this big girl back. Hopefully we can get another one. And there she goes. That was it. All right, awesome. I'll tell you what, I feel a little better, Bart.
Yeah, that's good.
Fish on. That's a good eater. Woo! Literally I just sped up. So I started going just slightly over a mile an hour pulling these minnows. And apparently they want speed today. So, ooh, fishing the weed edge and speeding up, and that seemed to trigger them. So I guess we're gonna keep doing that. And I mean, as you can see, it's not a small minnow, but those fish will eat it. Sometimes you just got to change up what you're doing. I've been going pretty slow most of the day, thinking that's what they wanted, because we kept missing fish. So I thought I'd slow down. Well, you know, the opposite of what I thought. I just sped up, and boom. I mean, that's 2 fish in a matter of 5-10 minutes. So hopefully it's a pattern that's repeatable. There we go. Fish on. Yeah.
Not quite ready yet.
No, I think he's gonna be a minute.
Well, today is definitely a multi-species day. We're pretty much sitting on weed lines in about 8 to 10 feet of water. We're catching walleyes, we're catching smallies, largemouth. Just all in all, a pretty fun day of multi-species fishing. I know we're here targeting walleyes, but hey, it's always fun to catch some of these every once in a while too. I'm gonna let this guy go here.
All right, so here's the deal. Today was tough. I did not expect it to be this tough. I hate weather excuses, but we just had a cold front come through. We had storms all last night, lightning, rain. I don't know, we got 2 inches of rain last night. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back, we're gonna give the day or the lake a day, let it rest, because the fish have been going a lot better than this. So we're gonna come back on Thursday and we're gonna give it a crack. Hopefully we can get some fish jigging, because I love catching fish on a creek chub, but there's nothing more boring to watch than just dragging a minnow around and catching fish. So we're gonna come back when it's warming up a little bit. Hopefully we can get some fish, you know, maybe a jig and a minnow, but hopefully on jig wraps, Tikka Minos, stuff like that. And we'll give it another try. This is obviously the second day we're out here. We had some odd conditions. Last time it was super cold the night before. We had a bunch of rain, thunderstorms. You know, it's warmed back up. So hopefully today we can get out there and fish a little more aggressive, maybe snap jig, jigging a minnow, Tikka Minos, stuff like that, rather than just dragging creek chubs around. So we're gonna dump the boat in and get after it. So obviously you can see it's not early in the morning. You know, the wind's blowing hard. This lake has, you know, sort of dirty water. You know, most people think they want to be out right away at the crack of dawn, and honestly on this lake I would say 10 to 2 is generally my best bite. So we actually didn't even get out here until almost 10 o'clock today. You know, especially with this wind blowing today, that should definitely get them going a little better. But you know, don't always assume that the bite's going to be at prime time, or what I should say, low light periods. Sometimes the fish are going to bite midday, especially if you got a day like today with the wind really blowing. You know, a lot of people, the wind gets like this and they're heading home just because they don't want to deal with the wind, when when in reality that could be your absolute best bite. There's one fish on. It's a good one. Grab the net. My bait never made it back to the bottom. I jigged it up and I went to jig it again and there was slack. All right, here he comes, here he comes. All right, now he's ready. All right, beautiful. That's a nice fish. So as you can see, the conditions are totally different than the other day we were out here. You know, we had a cold front the other day. It's a lot warmer today, and the fish are just a lot more aggressive. So I can fish a lot more aggressive. You know, I don't mind catching fish, dragging creek chubs around, but if I can catch a fish, you know, throwing a jig or throwing a Tikka or something like that, it's just so much more fun. And that's a beautiful fish, probably a 22-inch walleye. They're super fat out on this lake. All right, we're gonna get her back in the water and then I'll explain how I fish these. And look at that, she's gone. All right, let's see if we can get another one. But first, let me just tell you how I fish these in the summer compared to winter. I get a lot of questions about these baits and how I fish them. So this is a 5/16 ounce black and gold. And this would be typically the size that I'm gonna use in the winter time. But in the summer, I fish them a lot more aggressive. So the way I caught this last one, I was just vertical jigging. And so what I do is I just hit the bottom and then I'm just lifting it and letting it drop. You know, when I'm casting them, you're gonna notice I really rip them. But when I'm vertical jigging, I mean, it's more of a, I don't wanna say it's a finesse presentation, but for this type of bait, it's more finesse. So I'm gonna fish them a little slower and less aggressive, but then in the winter time, you know, I'll lift that bait up and let it fall. But then when I'm actually working a bait on my flasher, if you watch my rod tip, I'm more or less working it like a spoon. And what you'll notice is that bait just kind of rocks back and forth as you twitch the tip. And that seems to get them going a lot of the time. So don't always think that just because it's an aggressive presentation that you're just gonna be ripping them all the time. You know, don't be afraid to slow it down. Maybe throw a fat head, just the head or the entire minnow on that treble hook. And what that'll do is it'll draw them into the center of that bait. So that way when they do hit it, you get that treble hook in the mouth. You just don't lose as many fish if you can get that treble hook in the mouth. The front and back hook, you just lose too many fish on them. Right. There's one, fish on, fish on. Good fish, good fish, good fish. Not sure what I got, but it is a good fish. Yeah, I think I can make it back there. It is definitely a heavy fish. I literally just switched colors. I've been throwing a black and gold Tikka, and I switched to a black and silver, and I don't know, maybe for 30 seconds, and all of a sudden whack. So it's amazing how sometimes just changing color, and you know, maybe it was the color, maybe it wasn't, but it doesn't hurt to change colors. Getting close. This is a big fish. I mean, not only did we catch a 28 the other day, now we got another nice fish. I don't know, 26 probably, 27. There we go. Boom! Hey, that is why we came back.
Yes, it is.
So, just a little recap of what we've been doing. Like I said, we kind of changed it up from the other day. You know, we knew it was going to be warmer, and we wanted to do something a little more fun rather than just drag bait around. So here we are, just jigging Tikkas. Let me see if I can, look at that, he just came unhooked. So that's the other thing about Tikkas is you're gonna lose fish, but that, look at that fish. That is a beautiful fish. I mean, probably 25, 26 inches, super fat. But anyway, so, you know, don't be afraid to just admit that sometimes the weather does play a factor, and just this little bit of a warm up we've had, all of a sudden the fish are snapping. And just get back out there. And midday, what time is it? I think it's 1:15, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
So midday walleyes, hard to beat. You know, we're gonna keep fishing. I don't know how many more fish we're gonna catch, but I mean, in central Minnesota, you know, not too far from St. Cloud, if you can catch fish of that caliber, and not only one, but two of them, I mean, that's a pretty amazing day. So we're just scanning around, and I think we finally figured something out here. So I just caught that fish a little bit ago, and there was a huge bait ball. So we just decided, let's just go scan around and see what we find. And we found the absolute mother load of fish. I mean, I'm driving over,
I've been driving over fish for 150 yards. I got them on side imaging. I got them on my 2D. So I think we're gonna obviously pull up into the biggest school we can find and pull some Tikkas. But it just shows you that, you know, this wind is really what dictated what we did today. I mean, it's blowing 25 plus miles an hour. You wouldn't know it here. We're right next to shore. But we decided, let's just see if we can go tuck out of the wind here and find some fish. And what I'm on here is there's a pretty deep hole next to us, and there's kind of I'm gonna call it a flat-ish break. It's a little bit flatter, so there's just fish scattered all over and a huge bait ball. So just being versatile and being willing to go drive around and look at new stuff is what brought us to this, because honestly, I don't fish here normally. This is a completely new spot, and just using my electronics and trusting my electronics, found these. So now we're gonna see if we can't catch a few of them.
Oh, that thing thumped. Holy cow.
I bet you it's a walleye. I bet you it's a big walleye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a walleye.
This is a nice fish. This thing absolutely smacked the Tikka Mino. It kind of makes your heart pop out of your chest when they do this.
Yep. Go ahead and open your bail. That's just a little one.
A little one.
And that is a really nice fish.
On this lake today, the fish that we've been catching, this would be a great eater, probably about 19 inches.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smallest fish we've caught today. So
yeah, I mean,
which is crazy.
You can see healthy, healthy fish all around.
Definitely thick.
Like we said, nice eater, but
here, I'll
hand
take
it
that.
over. There you go.
Yeah, just another beautiful fish. Off she goes, and she's gone. Now I'm weed free. Fish on, fish on. All right, I think it's another decent fish. Oh yeah. So we found this huge cloud of bait, and we found that the fish were just sitting on the edge of it. I literally got to the other side of the bait from where we caught the last one, and what, 2 minutes and whack. I mean, here's another beautiful fish. I don't know if you noticed, but almost every fish, the baits come out in the net. So you really got to be careful when you're netting these fish. You don't want to get your fish to the surface, because they're gonna just open their mouth and throw the bait. So I try to swim the bait, especially when you have somebody that's not good at netting. You want to swim the fish to the net where I don't have to worry about Jeremy. He can get under it right away. But yeah, just another healthy 21-inch walleye. All right, let's get her back, see if we can catch another one. Ooh, she's feisty. And she is gone. All right. Let's see if we can get another one. Ooh, this might be a really nice fish. Come on, it seems heavy. And we got it. Oh, dude, that's a toad. That might be bigger than mine the other day, dude. Oh my God. Woo. This has been absolutely amazing bite. Like, I mean, I'm not for numbers necessarily, but look at that fish, dude.
This thing's a beauty.
I'm gonna grab the buckboard. Let's get a measurement on that.
I was actually using the Tikka Mino, a silver one, and really actually just doing light jigs, not very aggressive, just bouncing it non-stop off the bottom. And sure enough, I felt something tick. Woo! I felt the tick, and I went to jig again, and there she was. And you get this beautiful girl right here.
Let's get a measurement on that.
Yeah, let's get her up here.
God, what a beautiful fish. I mean, this has really been pretty awesome. Another 28. It's actually, get the mouth closed.
Yep.
What are we at? 28 and almost 28 and a half.
28
so
and a half.
That's two fish. Oh, that's 2 fish over 28 in the 2 days we've been out here. I mean, that's phenomenal, especially for where we're at. This is a pretty special bite.
Yeah, we've had a long day, couple days out here actually.
Yeah, sure.
Today we really kind of got it figured out. We've been catching beautiful fish like this, some smaller, some bigger. I don't know if this is the biggest one.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Probably
so far.
tied close.
Yeah.
But gosh, they're healthy. We're having a ton of fun out here. We got storms coming, the wind's blowing hard. We're probably hitting 25, 30 miles an hour. So this time I think we're actually gonna sign off here.
Awesome, there he goes, nice fish. So
So like we said, we were done.
Yeah.
But because we've caught enough fish, we've caught enough big fish, but we figured we'd keep fishing anyway. And lo and behold, Jeremy catches a giant. So we obviously had to throw that in there. But now I think we're done. I think I might do a little looking around, but I've had enough. I've had fun. So thanks for hopping in the boat today.
Absolutely. Thank you,
that
man.
was a good time. Nice fish, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
So thanks for having us on, and thanks for watching.